Serena, you're always confident of winning at any tournament you go into. How does your feeling compare with previous visits here?
That's not necessarily true. I'm not always confident. I just do the work, and I go out there and I play the best I can, and I work hard and see what happens. So that's it. So today is the same. I feel like I've done a lot of the work, and we'll see what happens.
You spent less than 2 hours on court in these first two matches. How key is, getting through a match quickly in saving your body for the grind of a slam, in recovering, especially considering the first slam of the year?
I don't think it's key. I think what's key is just going out there and playing really well, and just doing the best that you can do.
Serena, you're obviously in great shape. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about your focus. Like, your life is so much more demanding now than it was 10, 15 years ago. You've got a child, you've got a thriving business. Are there exercises, things you do to stay focused, or breathing stuff, or I don't know, some people have mantras, whatever. How do you focus?
Yeah, it's way more demanding. I mean, even today I was replying to emails about our next collection with S Brand and where we want to see it, and so it's different. And then I'm thinking, I play a night match, so I want to spend time with my daughter because I won't see her this evening for dinner. We do have dinner every night, and so it's totally different, but I'm not doing anything special. I'm just doing what I feel like all working parents do. They make it work. I'm just like literally everyone else. I'm just making it work, and it's not easy. And but I have to do, as a mom and as a wife, I have to do what I have to do.
Serena, speaking of your brand, you're in charge of your brand. You're in charge of your tennis team. How would you describe yourself as a boss?
I'm very hands-on. It's the same with my tennis game. I feel like my business with S Brand and what I do on the tennis court is exactly the same. I'm incredibly hands-on. I'm really involved. I'm really opinionated but open to suggestions. I always want to hear what other people have to say because I don't want to be that kind of boss or person or CEO that is just have really myopic views. I think it's really important to understand and see what everyone else thinks, and then take a decision from that.
Hi, Serena. I don't know if you've had a chance to see any of sort of the online response to your newest competition outfit, but I did see that there were a lot of comparisons to the cheerleading uniforms for the West Compton Clovers from Bring It On, and because of the ribbing and the green, and I was wondering if that was an inspiration at all for the design.
I wish I could say it was, but it wasn't. We designed these and so far out in advance, but I can't take credit for this design. I didn't actually design this one by Nike. Their designers did. Yeah, I don't think so.
Serena, do you wonder sometimes why you're the type of personality who feels that you can do it all? Is there people who don't feel that they can do it all or even part of it? Why is that so important to you?
It's definitely innate, I think growing up, I always played tennis, but at the same time, I wasn't allowed to play tennis if I didn't get straight A's. So it was like, okay, I have to make sure I'm studying and I get to play tennis. So I was already doing two things. And then at some point, I decided to go to college and win U.S. Opens. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to college, but I'm still, winning Open titles and Wimbledons. And so, again, I was doing more than one thing. So it was always something. And then now it's just continuing. I'm kind of glad I had practice at it, but it's definitely, I need to be busy because I just I have so much energy. And I always thought the older I get, the more calm I'll get, but I feel like it's kind of going opposite. I just get even more energy, and it's crazy.
So when you come to Slam, is something other than winning the title acceptable, or is that hard to take?
I do my best, I don't obviously win them all, or else I would have 80 Grand Slams. But I do my best to win the ones I can. And obviously, if I don't win, I go home, I go back to the drawing board, I see what I can do better, and I come back. And that's all I can do.
What do you know about your next opponent, Yastremska? And what do you know about her, and what just sort of in general runs through your mind when you're thinking about the idea of facing somebody who's that much younger than you, who was born after you won your first Grand Slam title?
Well, I think, oh God, Serena, are you still out here on the tour? Seriously? It's Patrick's job to tell me more about her, and gonna just go out there and obviously take her extremely serious. She's here, she made it this far, and she's here to win.
Serena, you're in the advertisement for Patrick's new video game. Curious if you've had a chance to play it and what you make of it.
Yeah, I played it, of course. I mean, I talked about it you're on social a lot, yeah.
Serena, has motherhood made it easier for you to delegate in other areas of your life, like your business, or is it harder to cede control?
So I took a lot of time off to put my hands on my business and create the best brand and try to find the best people to run the brand. And I did it all just from home. I'm working from home from my computer just literally all day, but so I can be at home with my daughter. Now, literally just 3 weeks, I was able to delegate that to someone else, and it's really made my life a lot easier.
Serena, each year the Australian Open happens just as the Hollywood Awards season comes into play, and a couple of years ago you commented about some of the movies and the role of African Americans in the community there. This year, pretty interesting array of movies, including Black Panther, Black Klansman, and Beale Street, Green Book. Could you just talk a little bit about the movie situation this year and your thoughts on some of those?
To be honest, I don't think I should talk about it because I have not been following it. I've obviously seen those movies you mentioned, but I have not been following award season.
One of the things that's really sort of been dominating conversation this week is the new Gillette commercial about toxic masculinity. And I know you've been really...
About what?
Toxic masculinity and sort of combating it. And I know you've been really vocal about promoting gender equality for girls. And one of the things I've also noticed, especially from Black women, is the way they admire the partnership that you have with your husband and how much he clearly admires you. There's that quote from you about finding someone who doesn't dim your light. Could you talk a little bit about sort of what you think the role of men is in terms of stamping out toxic masculinity or promoting gender equality and all those sorts of things? What is the role for them to play?
So I have not seen the commercial, so again, I don't want to talk out of place. But I do think it's important for men and women to stand up together. I think it's important for us both to work together and women not work against men and men not work against women. They should all be together. And if we can have help from men, saying, oh, women deserve equal pay, women deserve equal C-suite jobs, women deserve, to be on board seats. Like, this is really important if men are advocating it as well as women. And that's the only way to make that change. And that's something I've been really trying to advocate myself on different boards that I've been on.